I live inside my own world of make-believe.
2019 Ford Fiesta, the final Fiesta, courtesy of Bob Ruth Ford in Dillsburg, PA. And it already feels like a go-kart, so I have a feeling this one might be a little bit fun. So, as always, let's start with pricing. And so actually, to start, as I alluded to, Ford has announced that they are discontinuing all of its cars with the exception of the Ford Mustang, Ford Fiesta being one of them. So, if you were interested in a Ford Fiesta, 2019 will be the final year in the US. In Europe, they are going to still continue to build this one, and it will actually be a slightly different design as well. But so then when it comes to the power plant on the 2019 Fiesta, powering this one is going to be a 1.6 liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder for all trims but the ST trim level. But this power plant is going to crank out 120 horsepower at around 6,300 RPM, 112 pound-feet of torque available at 5,000 RPM. Power, of course, being sent to the front wheels through a 5-speed manual, which comes standard, or an optional 6-speed automatic, the one I have today, which adds around $1,100 to the bottom line of the price there. But so then with this power setup, MPG numbers are going to come in at right around 27 in the city, 37 on the highway. But since I had mentioned it, if you wanted to go with that ST trim level, that's going to be a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, putting out 197 horsepower, 202 pound-feet of torque actually, which is pretty crazy for the size of the Fiesta. But power sent to the front wheels through a 6-speed manual, only giving you MPG numbers 25 in the city, 32 on the highway. But so now, since I have mentioned all of those power numbers, you guys know what time it is. Let's put the Fiesta to the test. Now let's do a quick little acceleration, see how quickly we can get this go-kart-ish 2019 Fiesta here up to speed. And here we go. Definitely not the quickest car in the world, but I will say at very low speeds, maybe zipping around city streets, it does have a lot of initial pep, but once you get up to maybe, I don't know, 20 miles per hour, it's just slightly slow, let's say. And then to go along with that acceleration, braking is equally important. Up front, you will find front discs, in the back, rear drum brakes, and that's going to be standard for all trims but the ST trim level actually. That's going to give you 4-wheel disc brakes if you were interested. And as far as the braking feel goes, really no issues, honestly. If you were thinking that maybe the rear drum brakes would not stop the vehicle as quickly, you got to keep in mind the Fiesta isn't that big of a vehicle, so really when it comes to braking, the front disc rear drums are perfectly fine for this one. And when it comes to handling, it's fun. If there's anybody behind me, they're going to wonder what I'm doing right now, but definitely a very nice steering feel actually. And it is a lighter car, so you really can toss it around a little more, especially on the back roads here in Pennsylvania. And if you were curious about the specifics, up front there is a McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, a twist beam rear suspension. You will get torque vectoring control as well. And if you didn't know what torque vectoring control is, it basically sends the torque to the wheel with the most traction. So again, helps you with cornering a little bit there. And as far as ride quality goes, I've had no issues there. As far as cabin noise goes, it's definitely as expected. Nothing too loud. I'm getting a little bit of that air sound coming into the cabin, but really nothing to worry about there either. And the last part of my driving segment I usually mention is the visibility, which I can see perfectly fine out of this one. And again, smaller vehicles, you really aren't going to have any issues there, so everything is on point when it comes to that visibility. But you guys know what we have to do next. This is the final Fiesta, so as always, let's take a look at the exterior on this one. And so up front of the Fiesta, all trims will get those chrome upper grille bars that you were looking at right now. To the sides, halogen headlights will come standard, and if you look down, you will get fog lights with the ST line or ST trim levels, and it is optional in some of the other trims if you were interested. And by the way, the ST line and the ST will give you a honeycomb mesh front grille as well up there. Then making your way to the sides, you will find body colored side mirrors for the SE trim level and up, and they will come power adjustable and heated with integrated turn signals as well. And with the ST line trim level, you will get black side mirrors with a black roof and black wheels as well. So definitely going for that sportier appearance with the ST line there. And then speaking of the wheels, when it comes to the S trim level, you will get 15-inch steel wheels with covers. SE is going to give you 15-inch aluminum alloy wheels. ST line is going to give you 16-inch alloys, and the ST will give you 17-inch aluminum alloy wheels. Then make your way to the back. There is an optional appearance package, which this one does have today, so I wanted to mention this. Because of that appearance package, there is a slightly different wheel setup, but also a rear spoiler back there. But anyways, just below all of it, there is a single exhaust outlet. You will get dual tips with the ST only, but if not, you will get what you were looking at right now, so you guys know what I have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so but now since we are around back, to open that rear trunk, there actually is a button on the key fob for you, so simply press that if you like. But once opened up, cargo capacity is going to come in at 12.8 cubic feet if you go with the sedan, or 14.9 cubic feet if you go with the hatchback version. And if that was not quite enough space for you, those rear seats do fold down. There's a 60-40 split for a ton of added space if you needed it there. Make your way to the rear legroom. That is going to come in at 31.2 inches for both the sedan and the hatchback, so slightly on the smaller side, but I'll give this a shot for you guys. I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I have back there. But so for those rear passengers, if they were interested, there is a 12-volt power outlet back there for them as well. But now make your way to the front seats. You will find cloth seating, by the way, for all trim levels. There is unique ST line seating if you go with that trim level, and you will get intense side bolsters for those front seats if you go with the ST, and they are manufactured by Recaro as well. So I'll actually leave a link to the ST video at the very end of this one if you're interested. But looking forward, there is a tilt and telescoping steering wheel. It will come leather wrapped for the ST and ST line. And when it comes to the startup, let me first start by showing you guys the key here. You do have your Ford logo on the one side, and when you flip it over, lock, unlock, and that button to pop the rear hatch. But it is a turnkey ignition for the one I have today, so I'm simply going to put my foot on the brake and we are going to start it up here. Once started up, there is a tachometer on the left, speedometers on your right, fuel gauge is down below, and up top it's going to let you know what gear you're in and how many miles you have left until you hit empty. So one of the more basic gauge setups you can find up there. And when it comes to overall interior quality, you will find an overhead sunglass holder on the roof there if you wanted it. Power moonroof is available, actually, for an additional $800. There is a cold weather package also available that I have today. That is going to add heated seats, which I am loving today, as well as heated side mirrors. So definitely something you want to consider if you live in PA like I do, or any other colder climate, I should say, as well. But perhaps my favorite part on the Fiesta, and this is really value because you don't usually find this on less expensive entry-level vehicles like this, is right next to the heated seat button on the passenger side, there is kind of a sun and a moon looking thing. Basically what that button does is that is your ambient lighting button, and that's going to change the ambient lighting color. So you got blue, you got a purplish, you got a magenta, an orange, a red, a teal, a yellow, all kinds of different colors basically that you can adjust. That ambient lighting is going to be displayed under the driver and passenger's feet, also around the cup holders in the center console here, and in the rear there as well around the 12-volt power outlet. So I found that pretty cool. You don't usually find ambient lighting on compact entry-level vehicles, so I thought that was pretty nice. But now let's make our way to the tech on this one, because this particular Fiesta has a little something extra. The standard setup is going to come with that standard sync system, so it's going to be a smaller display screen. However, if you go with that 201A package, which we have today, or if you go with the ST line or the ST, you will get a 6.5-inch color touchscreen display up there, aka Sync 3 system. And either way, you're going to get Bluetooth and audio streaming, but the Sync 3 is also going to give you Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So if you have a smartphone, simply hook it up to the Fiesta, and that's going to give you free navigation, the ability to like and dislike your Pandora songs up on that screen, and there's a couple other compatible apps that it works with as well. But you can also get a factory navigation system if you were interested. That's going to tack on an additional $800 there, and you can check out your radio settings, of course. And for the Fiesta, there is a standard 6-speaker set.